As the year comes to the end, the 8th graders need to be on their best behavior in order to promote. Let's see what things they need to do in order to walk the stage on promotion. What do the 8th graders need to do in order to promote?
So academically, they have to have a 2.0 or better, which is basically a C average or better in all classes. And then in addition to that, they have to have a C or better in language arts and a C or better in math. So that's for them to be able to walk the stage. And then behaviorally, in the last 7 weeks of school, if a student is suspended for multiple days, they will not be able to walk.
If the 8th graders can't walk the stage, what will they do instead?
If they come the day of promotion, then we would have a separate area for them to be with a supervised staff member.
If the 8th graders can't walk the stage, are they still allowed to do other end of the year activities?
Well, grade-wise, they could still be able to do the Sun Splash and the promotion dance. The way that they would not be able to do those would be behaviorally. So if they receive referrals in those last 7 weeks, they begin to lose Sun Splash and then the dance, a suspension, they lose all activities as well, and then multiple days they lose the walk. But losing the walk the stage is mainly academics.
Now that we know a little more about 8th grade promotion requirements, hope to see you at promotion. I'm reporter Piera Ellis with photographer Micah Duff.
Spring sports are coming up. Let's go and get a look from our track coach. What days should we expect track meets?
Track meets are kind of spread out throughout the week. Each week we kind of have a different day. Most of them are Wednesdays, but we'll have some on a Tuesday or Thursday throughout the season.
What are the player requirements to participate?
Track is a no-cut sport, so anybody can join. They just have to have all their paperwork filled out on Final Forms, and then they can come out and be a part of the team.
How long have you been a coach, and what's it been like?
I have been a track and field coach, since I started teaching here, so like 11 years. It's really fun. I enjoy it because we get a lot of kids out there who enjoy being outside and running and having a good time, and they can see that they can push themselves to get better, and it really is a fun sport.
Now that we've heard about track, let's go and see what we can get information on about boys volleyball.
When does the boys volleyball season start?
Tryouts are March 11th.
What days are the games at?
I believe we have the first week of games. We have a Wednesday game, but other than that, games are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. 7th grade at 4, 8th grade usually around 5 following the 7th grade game.
What is it like being a teacher coach?
It's kind of nice to be on campus so I can check grades and watch behavior and be here to set up for practice and just be present where off-campus coaches have a hard time doing that.
Now that we've heard about volleyball, let's go and get a look at the fastest growing sport in America, girls flag football. What are the player requirements for girls flag football?
Well, I'm doing 7th grade, so obviously they've got to be in the 7th grade. They have to have a physical loaded up onto Final Forms, and definitely their grades have to be pretty good from last semester.
How long have you been teaching girls flag football, and what's the experience been like?
It's been fun. This is only my 2nd year. I picked it up last year after the league canceled softball out, so I decided I wanted to coach something else. So this is just going to be my 2nd year.
Now that we've heard about the spring sports coming up, this is reporter Lucas Preo with photographer Tanner Janicki.
Has had a great season and has worked hard as a team and as individuals. Let's interview some people and find out how their season was and what's something new that they learned.
Wrestling season. Probably winning my matches. The crossface.
Probably winning our first duel. Learned a lot of new moves like the sweep single, and that if you win your match against someone else doesn't mean that you're going to win the duel. You have to win as a team.
Sounds like the wrestling team has learned some great things and has had a good season. We have a great team this year, and we are looking forward to our next teams in the future. This is reporter Oriana Golden and photographer Gabby Odell signing out.
This year, Miss Saul's science classes have been working to raise and hatch chicks. Everyone's wondering when these chicks will hatch. Let's dive deeper and ask Miss Saul how the process is going and when we're expecting them.
So we actually are on day 19 of watching them grow, and we've been candling the eggs and seeing them go from just being, a few cells to all the way, and now they're chicks. So we thought they would be hatching on day 21, but actually already 2 of them have hatched in Miss B's class, and the ones here are actively hatching. They're already poking holes through the eggshell. We are in our food unit, so we're learning about where our food comes from, what kind of work it takes into growing our food and raising our food. So we're learning a lot about that, but also learning about the processes of like digestion, cellular respiration, and everything that goes into taking care of a living thing. Oh, it's a lot. It's very nerve-wracking. We have to make sure that the humidity and the heat stays at 100 degrees at all times. I can hear them now. And we have to make sure that they stay warm, they don't move around, and actually they rotate every day very slowly. And once they hatch, which might be today, in the next 24 hours, we're going to have to make sure they have medicated food, water, and they stay warm at all times too.
We now know when they are hatching in the process of taking care of chicks. Stop by Mrs. Saul's to check out the chicks once they've hatched. This is reporter Chrissy Lau with photographer Riley Fechner with Gems TV.
This year, the Faisal League is going to try to make new changes. Let's see what it's all about. What are your thoughts on the new Faisal League changes?
Well, nothing's been officially changed yet. There's a lot of discussion that's happening with all the athletic directors about the preseason, East and West. And everybody pretty strongly feels, the East and the West side, that the games just aren't very competitive most of the time. So we're looking at potential changes. One option that a lot of people on this campus are for is like a home and away with each league team, instead of doing the preseason and maybe seeing, if you make the tournament, you may see one of those teams at the end. But a home and away would be kind of a cool way to see teams are level twice, and also a lot of strategy kind of comes in.
How do you think it's going to help our team win?
I think it helps us because we're seeing more of our level. I think starting out the season and getting blown out by 30, 40 points, obviously there's things that can help you, but it just kind of gets old, and they kind of feel that way too. It also, which I think we need, it also adds more games. It's like another week and a half of basketball or football or whatever it is, because you've got, instead of 6 league games, you'd have 12, so that league championship becomes a much bigger deal.
Now we got the athletic director's point of view. Let's see what Mr. Colson has to say. What are your thoughts on the new Faisal League changes?
I know there were like 4 options that came out, so I'm not sure what they actually adopted, but I'm kind of got some mixed feelings, because when you play the West, which is the bigger school division, you actually see the competition that you need to be at to win the whole championship of the entire league. But there's also different situations where maybe you don't have as good of a team that year, and you're playing against a team that's really strong on the other side, and it makes for a game that's pretty lopsided.
How do you think it's going to help the volleyball teams win?
I don't know if it's going to help them win, but again, like I talked about in the prior question, is that you get to see maybe the skill level of some of those bigger schools that have a lot more athletes to choose from. Seems to be that basketball is a little bit harder because people are playing more club and AAU. But as for volleyball, it's a little bit more even when we're playing the West.
Now we know what the league is going to try to change. I'm reporter Brett Rigger with videographer Savannah Ortez Angel with Gems TV.